Vando, we just overheard you asking nicely for credit from Austin since you apparently told him to get 50. Can you tell us more? Was it morning meeting? When did this come out?
It was during, we was going to bus times. I was telling man, like, we gonna need 50 for me tonight, you know what I mean? As you can see, he did it, so we challenged him, and he came through.
Well, he claims that Luka texted him this morning asking for 60, but does that mean that he trusts you more than he listened? He stopped it at closer to 50?
Yeah. I think he got right at 50. I mean, 60 would have been, we wouldn't have been complaining about 60 either, but shit, either way, that was a hell of a performance.
We saw the moment you guys kind of surrounding him close in front of your bench. I'm sure you did it again in the locker room. Is there something about his story or just him as a person, kind of the aw shucks, the undrafted, that builds to that when you see a 50 piece like that?
Man, everything. I mean, obviously we know his story. We know how hard he plays. You know what he means to us as a team, the city of LA. Like, you know, watching him come from undrafted and basically get better every single year, which is crazy. Like. Statistically and just, you know, as a player as a whole. And, yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of chatter around him, so just him stepping up to the plate every single time, man, it's amazing.
Well, there were two other games that when LeBron and Luka both didn't play since Luka was acquired, and I think he had 45 in one and 37 and 13 or something in the other. So I guess it's impressive, but it's not that much of a surprise, I guess, because he does seem to ramp it up in these games.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. I mean, we watch him every day in practice, my bad. I mean, you know, he always step up to the table when his number's called, and tonight we needed every point that he gave us tonight. And, yeah, I say it's no surprise from us. Like, we know what he's capable of doing. You know, you can see him even as essentially a third option, what he does night in and night out. So I'm happy to see him get 50. Not a lot of people in this league can do that, so that's impressive, man.
In what ways is he better this year than he was last year?
Just overall, I mean, his decision making, his shot making, you know, his pace, everything. You know, I mean, he's you know, he got to the line. He was 21 for 22. He's obviously great there at the free throw line and just controlling the game. You know, we found him with some easy ones early on, and then towards the end of the game, he took over, and we trusted him. You know, we got full trust in him. This coaching staff got full trust in him. So I think just that leadership role, I think that's where he grew the most.
All right, DeAndre, so after, you know, Austin scores the 51 and you have the kind of mob in front of the bench, he told us one of the most excited moments he had is when you had the offensive rebound, the slam put back is kind of what that symbolized. What does that mean that he's kind of, you know, thinking of you and your importance to the team in that context after he drops 50?
You know, he always been dissecting me a little bit since I got here. I think he's starting to have a feel of my game, you know, how I put my emotions into the game, and you know, I guess he knows, you know, through practice and through training camp. Yeah, if I'm offensive rebounding and dunking the ball, like, yeah, like I'm here. I'm playing on edge, you know, and you know, just everybody in general just sharing that consistent energy, you know, that it was just so constant throughout the game. And we just had spurts and everybody contributing in their own way. And that was my way, being on the boards early and just, you know, trying to come out the half pretty strong, and you know, the game was neck and neck the whole time, so we were trying to break some of that up, you know, and you know, he gave me the burst I need where, you know, he got my back.
It seemed like you figured something out about the coverages that the Kings were doing on both ends and the pick and roll. And I know that's something you've talked about and focused on, but what did you dissect and what were you able to do with that on both ends?
Really, in the first half, I was really just trying to put pressure on the rim, and then they started blitzing AR. And I started, you know, getting back to my old-fashioned game, playing in the short roll, you know, where's my bread and butter, and, you know, just picking them apart, simple, you know, getting weak side corners. You know, Rory did an amazing cut on one play when I was attacking the rim, and after that, everybody stayed home. It was just one-on-one between me and the low man. And, you know, it's a height advantage. It's probably a guard always going to be the low man. So I just was making sure I finish over the top and get high percentage shots. You know, AR was putting me in positions where you don't even need to dribble, basically. You know, just go up with the ball.
Austin, you've had big nights in this league before. When did you know? Did tonight feel any different for you at any point? Seemed like in the third quarter, particularly, like a couple of those really tight window threes, it felt like the rim looked pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, first quarter, wouldn't say I started off great. Had a couple turnovers, missed shots, couple bad passes, and you just stick with it, especially on a night where you don't have Luka, you don't have Brown, you don't have Jackson. Like, you got to go out there and, be big for the team. And there was no, that wasn't in my head thinking you got to go score 50. It was do whatever you can do to help the team win. And, we played, not just myself, but everybody, played a hell of a game. DA was, monstrous on the glass, in the paint. And, a lot of guys, like JJ said, were really good.
Just judging from your hair, did you get a bit of a water bath in the locker room? And what did that feel like, just kind of that moment with the team?
It's cold. It's really cold. It's my second one? I think it was my second one. First one was rookie year in Dallas when I made the 3 for the game. It's just like I told you on the court. It's special. We spend so much time together. We literally, we live a very blessed life. I will never say otherwise, but we go through a lot together. And, you build, lifetime relationships with these guys. Like I told you, you spend 90% of your time together, either in the gym, on the road, flights, whatever it is. So, like I said, you build that, real relationship, and just the way that they, support me and let me be myself is very special.
Will you hold this against Luka since he had the 49 and you made the joke, and now that you got the 50?
I ain't gonna lie, I went to the free throw line like, shit, I better not miss. I texted him this morning. We had a funny exchange. He's a Cowboys fan, and I think Dak threw a pick or something. So I texted him, and me and him, our whole relationship was just talking trash back and forth. And towards the end of the conversation, he was like, "I need 60 tonight," and I was like, "Ha ha ha." And that was the end of the conversation. I don't know. He probably texted me. I haven't looked at my phone, but. I'm definitely holding that one over his head.
So you still owe him 9, you're saying?
Oh.
You still owe him 9, is what you're saying?
9 what?
Points.
You won 60.
60.
Oh, I didn't even know where you were going with that. I guess. I don't know. I didn't think I was going to get 50, so I'll take it.
Is obviously 51 is your career high for the NBA. Was it your high for any level of basketball?
Nah.
What is that?
I hate that question. High school, I scored 73. It was triple overtime. I shot a lot of free throws, and it was. I only made 4 threes that game. It was very high pace. They full court man, run and jump every possession, and it was. We ended up winning 117 to 115, triple overtime. Kid for their team had 59. We tried to guard him. I guess they tried to guard me too. Just there was no defense.
Even beyond tonight, obviously, it was your game speaks for itself tonight. But even in the preseason and the first 3 games of the season, you've been playing at a really high level. What's working for you right now, and what's allowed you to be at this level to start the year?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm just playing the game I love. Try to play the right way, do the right things on and off the court, and put the work in. You can't take shortcuts. And on top of that, like I was talking about, like my teammates and coaching staff letting me be myself, and that's a big, reason for why I'm able to go play the way I play confident. Because sometimes, I'm sure all of y'all have seen it, it can look crazy sometimes. And it's kind of just how I play. And they're never like, reel it back. Just tell me to go do what I do. And that's just, kind of been the message this whole summer. Me and JJ's had a lot of really long conversations about, what we need to be successful. And like I said, I just want to do what I can do to help the team be successful.
One question. Of course, you don't win this game without, your near triple-double and those 21 free throws, but you're supporting Cavs. Rui had a good game, DeAndre, Smart, and Jake Laravia.
Yeah, Jake made a couple big shots. like I touched on, DA, how big his performance was, 10 for 17, 15 rebounds, 5-0 boards. He played like a monster tonight, and that's what we need from him every single night. And like JJ touched on, Gabe, Marcus, Vando, everybody that got minutes tonight stepped up and, played, the way that we need them to play to be successful. And like I said before the game, to everybody, we're not going to be able to make up, Luka and LeBron with one or two people. Like, everybody's going to have to pitch in, and that's what we did tonight. And that just speaks to the character of all these guys. It's this next man up mentality, and you just go out there and compete.
Austin, speaking to DA, he had that big dunk in the fourth on the putback. Just, what do you think that moment, like, what did you feel in that moment? I feel
happiness.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's seen me. I was at half court fucking screaming. Probably those words exactly. It was just that's what we need. We encourage him every single day to be that. I remember I guess it was the Minnesota game, he got like a pocket pass or whatever, and he went to try to dunk it and missed it. We ended up getting an offensive rebound and one. But me and Luka went straight to DA and was like, that's what we need. Like, we don't care if you make it, miss it at this point. Go do that, because more times than not, you're going to make it or you're going to get fouled. So we need that from him. And there was, I'm sure there's a picture out there. I was probably about to pass out. I was yelling so loud.
JJ, I think we saw how the players kind of felt about Austin, that kind of mobbing him right on the court after that performance. But what stood out the most to you, and what have you gotten to know about Austin that kind of makes that a moment for you? What did you recognize out of that?
He was fantastic. Did a little bit of everything for us tonight, all over the place. Scored the basketball at an incredible level, but just his tenacity to compete. Like, it's so apparent every single day he's in the gym. He just loves competition. He thrives on competition. We talked about it a little bit towards the end of last season and then right after the regular season. This is a small town kid from Arkansas who went undrafted, who last year averaged a 20 ball in the NBA and just had a 50 ball. Like, these moments are incredible for him. I think his teammates see that. I know as a coaching staff, we see that. He just lives in the moment, and he's ready for every single moment that comes. And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be around him every day.
Just what kind of energy and uplift does that give a group, especially with the guys that you're missing and that you can carry here for a little
I thought it was all our guys. I mean, the big challenge before the game was just playing with our edge. We finally, I was like waiting for it in the preseason. Didn't feel like we had it against Golden State. Didn't start with it against Minnesota. I thought we had it all night tonight. They have a ton of offensive weapons. They can score the basketball. Our resolve, our tenacity on the glass. When we were getting hurt, we had 3-4 guys trying to sandwich rebound on Sabonis. Like, they're a tough team to compete against. And I just thought our guys brought an edge, and it wasn't just Austin leading that. DA was great, Vando, Smart, Gabe before he got hurt, all those guys, and then Jake and Rui just hit some big shots for us in that fourth quarter.
JJ, we got a glimpse of your post-game speech. It's your favorite thing when we get to see it after game 2, and it was something along the lines of, this is a reference point that we can look back at. Considering Luka being out and Gabe having to leave the game, did you earn another reference point tonight, and what can you point to?
Well, I do think for this group, it's important to know that you can win a basketball game without those two guys. Our group last year knew that because we did it, and AR had some huge games for us offensively. We nearly beat Denver on the road without those guys. So the guys that were on the team last year, I think, believed already, but it's important for us as a group to understand that, like, we have enough good basketball players to win games when two of our best players are out.
Coach Rick, I only have one question. DeAndre Ayton, 22 points, 15 rebounds, really controlled the boards under there. He didn't have to deal with DeMontis tonight. What do you think about his play tonight? He's been looking really good for you guys.
Yeah, he just keeps getting better every single day that he's with this group. I thought the pick and roll stuff was really good tonight. His pocket decision making was really good. Love seeing him get 15 rebounds, but I think offensively that was his best night.
How did you feel like the team? You mentioned it wasn't just Austin, but how did you feel like the team used maybe Sacramento's more aggressive defensive schemes on Austin late in the game? I think it was like Jake, Rui, and DeAndre all were able to score off of that late.
Yeah, we were ready for it. We were ready for it. It's something, we show on film, we do breakdowns. We've worked on it a ton over the last 10 days. Typically, we're doing it to get ready for teams blitzing Luka. So, once we saw, the initial one, they actually didn't blitz. He was up to blitz, and then DA kind of slipped out of there, and he got a little bit in no man's land. So coming out of that next time out, we were ready for it. And I thought the guys did a great job of execution all night long, particularly in the fourth quarter. Off of the blitzes, drew up an ATO for Jake to get that layup. That was another great example of our execution. And it's 2 games in a row offensively for us that we've played high-level basketball. Still got some things to work through right now, particularly if Gabe is going to be out, with just ball handling. I mean, it's asking a lot of AR to be the sole ball handler the whole game and get pressured full court and have to offensively create. So it's just something we'll have to figure out with our rotation in the short term.
JJ, just follow up on that. What do you know about Gabe? How is he doing?
I don't have anything. Yeah, I don't have anything. Yeah, we'll know more tomorrow.
And then also, you mentioned that playing with that edge. Was there a moment, whether it was pregame or during the game, when you really saw that this team was ready to play and had that edge that you were looking for today?
I saw it right away. It wasn't a singular moment. Talk about our shifts. Made a couple defensive mistakes in the first half, but a lot of what they got in the first half was our turnovers. They had 30 points in the paint. 14 of those were in transition off of our turnovers. So I felt like we were, if we could sustain that level of play in terms of our effort and our talk and our shifts and all that stuff, and continue to execute on the offensive end, then we'd have a chance to win. And that's what we did.
JJ, assuming Gabe's out for a little while, as of today, you had 8 healthy full contract players. You mentioned sort of the tenacity to compete. What did you see trickle down from him on that front, the tenacity front from this group?
I just think you need something to galvanize the group, to give the group belief. Austin led on that tonight. And frankly, I think the play of Vando and Smart was up there too. They led. They made the group believe we could get a big win on the road.